Guys, it feels like a baked potato outside, more specifically, one without chives because Carter does not like chives on his potato. You can see the inflow of the air pushing in, starting to want to spin up right here, so I wouldn't be surprised if it gets tornado warned fairly soon. Just last night, we took a look back at the top 5 positive and inspiring stories of 2024, continuing our year in review tonight with the 5 most viewed video stories on the KRBC website, bigcountryhomepage.com. We're seeing that significant rotation where those greens and reds are mixing, again, just south of Jayton, headed towards the Aspermont area. It's going to move again parallel just with Highway 380. If you're going to storm chase, do it with respect for the weather, for the science, and for all those lives that depend on those warnings. Hey, it's cold out here. That's right. We're here at Cobb Park. And then they turn linear. Linear, Carter, this ain't math class. I know, linear. What that means is that's where we see a singular cell turn into a massive long squall line, and that's where we could see some really powerful, strong, straight line winds off of those storms. All right, folks, we do have some more intel.
Time for our next covert update. Go ahead with the Santa tracker.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is a special one, special message. Let's go ahead and pull this up.
Now, I'm not the meteorologist. I'm going to let Carter tell us what we're really seeing down here and what you can expect for the rest of the night. Yeah, Carter?
Yes, lots of rain, folks. Heavy rain and really strong winds. Of course, we had that tornado warning earlier just southwest for our friends within Coleman and around that area. As you can see, behind us is one of the Thunderbirds, and we do have one of the pilots, of course, Zachary Taylor. Major, thank you so much for being here. As you know, I'm a meteorologist. I love weather. And so when I think about air shows, there's one air show that I think of specifically, and that's the McConnell Air Show. I think that my friends have something they want to tell you. Maybe some non-perishable food items like peanuts or crackers or whatever is non-perishable. You guys should have that in your car too. And on top of that, folks, if you're like me, you like nice, warm, snuggly things and you like to feel that way, well, a blanket will do just that. 1 through 10, how important would you say it is for people to winterize their pools?
Well, you don't want it to turn into a mosquito farm, because if you don't do anything, many people tend to just neglect it, rop it down, it'll turn into a swamp, and it'll look like you're growing alligators.
You do have a small dog, and I have to ask, how do you keep Harold prepared and safe when it comes to cooler weather?
That is right. You know what? I actually do have a sweater on him today. It might be a little toasty, as you can tell. He's panting today for a sweater, but he is certainly going to need it when those temperatures drop here in Abilene. So now, is there just any specific time where, when you're forecasting for these operations, where it might have been a challenging experience for you?
Absolutely. So we recently, within last year, had a 30-hour mission for a B-1 flying from here at Dias down to Singapore and back.
Now, this is your KRBC Storm Track weather forecast from meteorologist Carter Vandrasik, sponsored by First Bank Texas.
All right, friends, people stress about a lot in their life. Let's see, you have housing, car problems, money, wedding planning, all these different things people stress about, and some of which also stress about severe weather. So let me bring you some comfort as you're hopefully sitting in a recliner at your house right this time. Of course, watches and warnings, there it is, friends. Severe weather is gone. For now. For now is the key word. Guess what? This weekend, it's going to be absolutely stellar. Plenty of sunshine, 90 degrees for Saturday, 97 for Sunday. Yes, it's going to stay hot, so stay hydrated, but it's a great weekend to go to the pool, hit the lake up, do whatever you want to do to enjoy this weekend. On top of that, I'm going to make a little teeny suggestion. That's right. If you guys have to do your own yard work, this weekend would be a great time to do that. And why do I say that? Well, I also say that because we're looking at more rain coming back as early as Monday. So if you want to catch your yards while you can, this weekend is the time to do so. Of course, temperatures right now across the big country, most of us are all still within the 70s, 73 here in the Key City. If you go up north, Haskell 72, Knox City 73, even out west, Snyder 76, same for Colorado City. And like I said, that sun is set, those temperatures are going to keep cooling down. In fact, tonight, most of us across the big country should get within the mid 60s with those winds staying fairly calm. 5 miles per hour, partly cloudy all night long. It's really going to be a great night, and like I said, a really hot and warm weekend headed into tomorrow. Of course, current satellite and radar showing that cloud cover mainly sticking south of that I-20 corridor again for the southern part of the state. However, as we zoom into the big country, like I said, also no rain. Things are staying dry at this time. In fact, that green that you're seeing there, I know you're probably thinking that's rain. Guess what? That is not rain. That is just ground return from those wind turbines. And I know some of you guys already know that, and that's great too. On top of that, like I said as well, rain, it is headed back into the forecast. Monday, Tuesday, especially Wednesday. The key thing about Wednesday is we could see that cold front push through the big country, bringing with it showers all day long. Monday and Tuesday, mainly just those afternoon pop-up storms from the heat-induced environment, bringing all the energy. Of course, Drought Monitor also showing us that last week to this week, we have really improved. I want to show you down south, pay attention to the heartland, because we went from that severe 3 out of 5 risk back down to the moderate 2 out of 5 risk for dry weather. Things are looking great. 0.63 inches of rainfall is what we saw last night. So things have been really working out for us in the big country at this time. Lake levels also looking great. Brownwood 100% full. Fort Phantom is just under that, and same for Coleman. I don't have this on there in the graphic, but I was just checking. Coleman is also looking very full. Unfortunately, Abilene is not, but guess what? If you're wondering why Abilene is looking so low, my good old friend, she actually put an article out on the bigcountryhomepage.com website. Check it out. You'll learn more about that there. In the meantime, I want to leave you with one more thing. Tie this forecast up with that 7-day forecast. Again, beautiful weekend. It's going to be hot. Get that yard work done, friends. Get it done. And, of course, stay hydrated, because those storms, they're returning back to the start of next week, as well as that cold front, which is really not going to cool us down a whole lot, but hopefully should bring us some more rainfall. Noah?